Welcome to a podcast. I always mess that up. Tyler McAllister or something.
That's me.
Or Tyler.
Or Tyler. Yeah.
Welcome in, chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here and we are queer.
Damn right. Damn, where's my non-binary flag? It's laying around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. I had it hung up for a couple streams during Pride Month. So
Tyler is on a podcast. Tyler, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am Tyler. I prefer they, them pronouns, but you can call me he, him. I don't mind as well. I am a person, current person, future corpse, former fetus. I have made like movies and stuff, so I guess I get called a filmmaker from time to time. Same goes for music, and I guess I'd stream on Twitch too, apparently, or something. So I got that going on as well.
Yeah, guys. In summary, Tyler is awesome. Okay. I know Tyler. Yeah. Dude, how do I even know you? I just remember like I started streaming and you were there, and like
I think
you've always been there.
Yeah, I think what happened was, so we followed each other on Twitter initially because you followed my SoundCloud when I used to post music on there.
Dude, that's right.
Yeah, and so I found your Twitter and I was like, I'm gonna follow this guy because your music's dope. And then you followed me on Twitter and I was like, cool. And then I saw you started Twitch streaming and I was like, fuck, I've been Twitch streaming for like fucking 3 or 4 years now.
Yep.
I'm gonna go in here and check this out. And I stopped in and obviously you have a great stream and you have a great following and everything. And yeah, we've always been in the same like sphere. And I actually met Nikki because of you, because you rated Nikki one day, and now I'm a mod in her stream and I harass her every day that she goes live with I always open and close with a D's nuts joke for every one of Nikki's streams because she hates them.
Yeah.
But now she's starting to come around and she's starting to she just lets it happen now. I have a command in her stream now.
We're all connected. It's so crazy how people just, I mean, social media is the devil in a way.
Absolutely.
But there are some good parts to it, I think.
Definitely bring some cool people together. Yeah. I've met a lot of cool people just purely just because one of my friends will raid someone else and then I'll be like, oh, this person's cool. And then I'll hang out in their Discord and we become friends. It's a huge like circle of just people becoming friends because we all do the same thing.
Yeah.
I
just think it's crazy that we met through SoundCloud. But I started streaming, but you already streamed. But yeah. Okay, guys. So chat, I'm going to say this again, throughout the podcast. If you guys have any questions for Tyler, throw them in the chat. We'll definitely get to them unless they suck.
Unless they're terrible questions.
First question, Tyler.
Ask for the feet reveal.
So Tyler, where does the or something come from? And I would like to preface that by I actually friggin' love your username. I think it rolls off the tongue so nicely, and I think it has like so much meaning behind it. But like, when did you decide to throw in the or something? Because like obviously, guys, if you unless you haven't caught on already. In case you haven't caught on already, his name is Tyler. His name is Tyler McAllister. But yeah, where did the or something come from?
So funny enough, the initial thought was I actually stole it from a musician that I listened to called Trevor something. If you've ever heard of him, he's this electronic artist. He does like synth 80s kind of styled music, and he's very good. And when I was making a Twitch, I wasn't planning on like using it like a whole lot, like I wasn't planning on being where I am currently, obviously. I was just starting it as kind of a hobby kind of thing. And then so the whole thought process was, well, it's Tyler McAllister or something, because that in my mind that allowed me like the room to do like variety stuff, like because it's always going to be me and then something else is going to be there. That, and on top of that, since I'm a non-binary person, I didn't know when I made the name initially, but now that I am, I realize it like doubles because I don't even consider myself like a person anymore. So, or something, it's just like, I might be Tyler, or I might be.
And he doesn't say that, you guys, in a negative way.
No, I just literally don't. I don't even think about myself in like existing, because number one, it gives me a bunch of existential dread and I just don't like feeling that way.
I have that every day, brother.
Yeah, so I just like to think of myself more as like not like a feasible like person, but like just like a a vibe, pretty much is what I would say.
I
I'm
fucking,
I, I'm a spirit, you know.
I'm not a person.
I'm not a
I'm a
person.
vibe.
I don't want to be considered a person. I want to be considered a vibe. Like I just want to be a feeling, you know.
Right, right, right.
So that's kind of where what it started as, what it led into, and now what I think of it as now, you know. So
That's the best answer you could have given to
I
that
think
question.
so.
I can't
I
even
think
front.
so. It's like an evolution of the name.
So, doubling back now. So, you said a bunch of things that you are
Yeah.
besides a vibe.
Right.
So you're a streamer. Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
You're a streamer, and you stream. What do you stream?
Video games.
Video games.
Podcast sometimes.
Podcast. That's true.
Yeah. It
He
varies.
plays a lot of horror games. You guys,
I do.
a lot of spooky,
I do.
a lot of spooky stuff.
I like the scary shit. I really do.
How'd you get into streaming?
Um, you know, it was 2017 and I wanted to start a podcast and I thought to myself, well, how am I going to make this podcast different from every other podcast that's out at the time? Because everyone and their fucking mom has a podcast nowadays. Um, and my thought was to do it just like this format where we do the podcast live and we interact with the chat the entire time. We sort of let the chat dictate the conversation. And I got my friend Tim, who's in the chat right now, to help co-host that with me, and we did that show for like 3 years, I think. Um, and
What was your podcast about?
it was called the Somewhat Okay Podcast, and it wasn't really about anything. It was just like me and Tim would meet once a week, and it started out as once a week, and then we started to branch it out more because that got kind of overbearing. But we would meet once a week. We would just have a conversation for 2 hours live on Twitch, because this was back when I had like a super shitty computer, but I had good enough internet that I could stream, and like chat would come in fast enough that I could react to it. And I actually have to thank the podcast for getting me the computer that I have now at this point, because without doing the podcast, I wouldn't have gotten this fucking tower of a fucking machine that I have now. So,
What do you like about
um,
podcasting?
I so first thing is I love discussion. I love talking about things with people. I love getting other people's thoughts. That's why I always love
Yeah.
bringing guests on the show. But then on that same note, I always had Tim, who was always giving me, you know, different thoughts, and sometimes we would argue on there about various things. And Tim, the dynamic that me and Tim had was I'm sort of the fucking insane one, and I say all the off the wall shit that's gonna get us taken down and put on government watch list and shit.
Right.
And Tim's like the moral center, where he's the one who's saying sensible stuff, and he sort of, you know, makes the podcast not as insane as I make it out to be. Although Tim had his moments on the show too, to be fair. And
I
it
think
was
you
just
need
kind
that,
of
right? That's like the classic dynamic when it comes to a duo. It's like you need
mhm,
one guy who's um, off the wall, and then you know
mhm.
the other guy who's like calm and collected,
Right, right.
and
And
you guys
that's
balance each other
definitely
out. And you
Tim.
make the
Hmm.
podcast. You make whatever you guys working on exciting.
Yeah, and then on top of that, we have, you know, the chat also dictates where the conversation's
Mm-hmm.
going, and we get to hear their thoughts too. So
Chat, you
it's
hear
sort of
that?
like
Get your
it's like a
thoughts
pod,
in.
exactly, say things.
Hi,
It's sort of like a
tasers.
podcast where um you watch it and you're also a part of the conversation too, you know.
Right.
So it's not like you're just listening to a podcast, it's like you're actively part of a conversation
And
that's
that
going
and
on.
that's why we're doing this on Twitch chat so that you
Hmm.
guys can be a part of it. So any questions you guys have for Tyler, fire away.
Yep.
So besides streaming, well, I also going back into the streaming thing.
Hmm.
Um, so do you prefer the podcasts when it comes to streaming that you work on, or do you prefer the video games? Which brings you more joy?
I think the video games, you know, because that's something that's like, it's a lot more stimulating, I think.
Mm,
Because I do love doing the podcast. The reason we stopped doing it is,
thank you for the sub tasers.
yeah, we appreciate that. I just got kind of like burnt on doing podcast
Mm,
because, like I said, me and Tim did that show for 3 years, and we had like, I think it was like 79 or 77 episodes of the show, and we were doing that like weekly to bi-weekly, and then eventually we started doing them like once a month. Um, and it was just kind of a fucking nightmare after a certain point to try to keep a conversation up. every single week, especially when quarantine hit and there was like nothing happening for a while. It was kind of like, well, what are we going to talk about with the
Yeah, that
podcast?
I
Like, nothing's happening. Oh, we're still inside. Wonderful, you know? So I just gave up on doing it and I just started
what
sticking.
was like your foundation when it came to topics? Was it like current
Um,
events?
yeah, I would open the trending tab of Twitter like 20 minutes before the podcast would start, or I
Oh,
would
that's
watch the
good.
Philip DeFranco show. And, and then I'd come in and Tim would bring stuff and we would exchange. So like I would say a topic, me and Tim would talk about it for like 15, 20 minutes. And then Tim would be like, oh, well, I read about this today. And then he'd share it, or we'd watch a video or something, or the audience would bring something and we'd want to get our thoughts on whatever. And we would just go off of that.
That's good.
And
Yeah,
it was easy to fill 2 hours, honestly, when
yeah.
you're
I
just going back and forth like that.
although like I'm like really glad that I'm doing a podcast now because it's something that I've always wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, I myself was like constantly thinking and searching for like someone that I know or something or in some form or another should just like
Mm-hmm.
do a podcast with, because doing it on your own is hard.
Yeah.
But like doing it with someone else like makes all the difference, because like you're not just talking to yourself, you're just
Mm-hmm.
or you're you're talking to someone else and you're bouncing ideas back and forth. There's conversation as
Right.
opposed to like when you're by yourself or it's monologue.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel that. I'm a little bit jealous, actually,
Mm-hmm.
but that's cool. That's cool that
Yeah,
that's
they're
cool that you
fun.
guys still did that and worked on that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and so besides streaming, you're a filmmaker,
That's
right?
right.
Which is like
Yeah.
a really cool title. I feel like that title is just fucking dope.
I
When you
love
say that to
saying it.
someone,
I
oh,
do.
I'm a filmmaker. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
filmmaker. Yeah.
And on top of that, like now I can attach the award nominated part of it because I got like nominated for an award. I didn't win it, but you
But you were
know,
nominated.
I can tell people I'm an award nominated filmmaker. I can put that on like my fucking I can put that in like trailers and promotional
Bro,
stuff now whenever I do stuff.
bro, side note. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel you there, because I used to be a journalist,
Mm-hmm.
and I won an award. And it was actually a really cool award and
Right.
prestigious, like where I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And just from that, like whenever I say like, yeah, I'm an award-winning journalist, I
Yeah.
won an award for my
Mm-hmm. You
journalism,
did.
so I am
Yeah.
an award-winning journalist.
Mm-hmm. You
And it's,
could even go further because it was for like something you wrote. I
yeah, I
assume.
wrote this like
So you can
really cool piece on gun violence,
yeah you can
and I
go
won an
even
award.
further
I won like
and
first place for that
and you could be
category.
like a you could say you're an award-winning writer if you ever like do a book or anything you could throw that on the cover.
Fuck yeah.
Award-winning writer, you know.
Well,
So
we have a question actually in the chat. What's that
okay,
poster behind you?
so that is actually the season 7 uh season 7 Dexter promotional poster that was getting passed around. I like to collect rare posters. I have this one, and then in my other room I have a poster for Clive Barker's Hellraiser that was actually put in the theaters like during the 80s when the movie came out. Like it was used for the theatrical run. These were both gifted to me. I didn't actually go out of my way to get either of these. I just got lucky enough to have parents who loved me a lot when I was growing up. So I was
We
given
love that.
this poster and the Hellraiser poster. There's posters all over this room though.
Let's go.
Pulp Fiction up here.
Look how much cooler his setup is compared to mine, guys. Look how much fucking better that is.
I don't know. The blank wall, you know, it's a vibe, honestly. I can project myself onto it, you know? Like
So
I can just I can think whatever I want of you based off of your wall, whereas mine it's kind of like, oh, this guy likes
that's true,
Dexter, and
guys.
he's got guitars over
You have
here.
no idea what I'm about
Mhm.
based on my background. So Tyler, what what were you nominated for again? I got that comment in the chat.
Oh, right. So I did a film correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, Tim, because you were a part of this one. I think it was in 2018. We did a
Hello to Tim in
adaptation.
chat, by the way. I didn't realize.
Yeah, we did an adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's The Terrible Old Man, which is a short story that he wrote, and I wrote my own version of it. And we made that, and that was really fun. And we entered it into the New Mexico Filmmakers Showcase, which is a statewide competition that they have for filmmakers in New Mexico, and The Terrible Old Man was actually nominated as a finalist in the horror category. So we were like the top four of like the horror films that were submitted
Let's go.
to that festival, and it was really cool. It was a fun little event. We got to go watch our. Well, I didn't get to go watch it, but one of the actors went down for me.
Yeah, I was gonna
Got
say,
to see
is
like
it
the movie
so
showing and stuff.
it's not animated.
No,
It's like
no, no,
a
no. It's
acted
live
out
action.
live
Yeah,
action. That's what I meant.
I've only written one animated thing, and I haven't gotten to make it yet, but I'm very excited about it.
Very nice. I love
Yeah,
that you
that's gonna
have
be fun.
ideas still cooking.
Oh yeah, this is like it's like a 5 episode show that I've written. It's like
What
a
do you,
political satire.
I'm there. I'm gonna
It's gonna
watch
be
that,
fun.
dude.
It's gonna be funny.
What do
It
you
revolves around.
what do you like about
Uh,
filmmaking?
uh, I so the reason I started was in 2009. My neighbor, his name's Pete Garcia. He's also a filmmaker. He did a little short film because he was going to college over at EMU, and he did like this short little zombie film. And up until that point, I'd always loved movies, but I looked at them as this sort of thing that was like above like my pay grade. Like I wouldn't be able to make one. And then I went out there and I starred in Pete's movie as like an extra. I was like a zombie, and I had to like eat this dude's fucking intestines for one scene or some shit. And that was really fun.
Do you watch It's Always Sunny?
Yeah, I love It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Do you know that episode where they're extras on a film set?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's
That's a
like
good one.
D, I think, is a
Uh huh.
zombie.
Yeah. Oh
And
my
she's
god,
like,
that
she's
that show's
acting
so
too much.
funny.
She's supposed to just fucking lay there and be a
Yeah.
dead zombie, but she was like,
She's like ah, and
that's
like
you.
making all that noise and shit. Yeah, it was so much fun. It's a great show. And Tim mentions filming in the cold. Yeah, we filmed The Terrible Old Man in like winter, and like 90% of the scenes were outside and at night. And so we were filming in like negative fucking 5-degree weather and shit. And there was one point I had to dress up and play the titular old man, and I had to wear this fucking robe and this stupid ass wig and shit. And I had no fucking
You
pants on.
gotta
I had no
send me that
shoes on.
picture
I caught
after
fucking.
this, okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Tim probably has one laying around somewhere. I caught fucking pneumonia for that movie.
Oh
It
fuck!
was
Really?
fucking
You actually
ass.
caught
Yeah.
you
Oh yeah,
actually
I got sick as shit after
fuck,
after we shot that
dude. You
day.
gotta stick to the art. Let's
And I woke
go.
up the next day with pneumonia, and I edited together the final cut. So I'm surprised it didn't come out fucking shitty, because I was like fucking in like a fever haze and shit. But I was like, I have to finish it. We have a deadline,
Hell yeah.
and I got it done. And it came out pretty good. It's a decent one. It's a fun little short.
Cool. So
So
so besides filmmaking, you're
mhm,
also a musician,
I do. I
which we
play
have in
music
common.
sometimes.
Um, what?
Guitars are not just
Let's
for
talk.
show, believe it or not.
What's that? Oh, the
I said
guitars. You can
they're
actually
not just
play
for
them.
show. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You ever
I
you ever
like to
like
I like to just bring them out, whenever I have like a date over, because they're always like, "Oh, you play guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to right now because these motherfuckers ain't tuned. I don't know where my tuner is, but uh,
yes.
yeah, they're here. I can play them sometimes."
You ever like watch something like a stream or a video and they have a guitar in the background and you're like, I bet they can't play that.
I watch. I see like shit in the background. I'm trying to remember which friend it was, but they had like a surfboard on their wall. I was like, "Motherfucker, you live in the Midwest. What the fuck do you have a fucking surfboard on your wall for? You don't
Right.
surf?"
Right. It's
Like, you
like,
got it. Well, in California. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll let it pass. I'll let it
right.
pass.
Someone
It's
in
just funny
chat,
to me.
Tasers is saying, make Thunder Gun.
Make
Thoughts?
Thunder Gun.
That's from It's Always Sunny. Thunder
Oh
Gun
yeah,
Express,
that's
I
right. The
think.
Thunder Gun Express. Yeah, that's right. Shit, I might. We're working on something right now. I'm trying to work on this Halloween short I want to do.
Nice.
Um, it's like a remake of another film I did where the premise was these three burglars break into the same house at the same time, but they're not together. They're all separately breaking into the house at the same time to burglarize it, and
Oh,
they
that's
all meet
actually
up.
cool. I like that.
Yeah, and they also all know each other. They're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
That's
Kind of
sweet.
thing.
I like the premise a lot. That's
Yeah, and
cool.
so we're doing that, except it's these like slashers, like these slasher antagonist characters breaking into the same house
Right.
to kill the same guy, and they sort of end up fighting over who's gonna kill him, and they like sit down, they try to like negotiate it out and shit while this guy's like tied up trying to save himself in the other room. So
Nikki
I
in
need
the
to finish
chat right
writing it.
now said
Nikki,
cue Spider-Man pointing.
Nikki cuties.
Like the meme, the Spider-Man meme where like Spider-Man's
Yeah,
pointing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You gotta
Absolutely.
have one of
There's
those,
three
dude.
of them too.
If you put a meme, that might be a good idea.
Hell yeah. People love that shit.
That yeah, they do love that shit. Didn't they put the Spider-Man meme in one of the Spider-Man movies?
They might have.
I think they did. I don't know which movie.
Sounds possible. Tim might
Yeah.
know. He watches those more than I do.
But you were talking about your music.
Right.
Yeah, let's talk about your
Right.
music.
All right. What do we want to know about it?
What kind of music is it? What inspires you to make music? What kind of music do
Uh,
you make?
I the end credits of Into the Oh,
Yeah,
that's what it
Tim
was.
is
Yep.
right. I think it
Tim
was
knows what he's
Spider
talking
Verse. I
about.
was thinking of that.
Um, so like I'm really into like punk music. As a matter of fact, I was gonna have a box of records over here that I was gonna drag over here to show you some of the stuff I have on vinyl, but I guess I couldn't be fucked, and it's all the way over there.
I
So I'm
couldn't
just
be
gonna sit here.
fucked.
I couldn't be fucked to do it apparently, so it's just gonna stay over
Some
there.
sometimes you're fucked. Sometimes you get fucked.
Sometimes I can be fucked, and sometimes I just couldn't be fucked, honestly. But I listen to a lot of shit. Honestly, it's kind of ridiculous. I'll go from like listening to like Jeff Rosenstock to like
I listen to him.
Roswell Kid to fucking
I listen to
Patsy
him.
Cline, and
Them.
then we're back to fucking I have a
Jackson
fucking
5, you
Patsy
said?
Cline. I said Patsy Cline.
Oh.
Crazy. I love Patsy Cline. Uh, but the music that I kind of make, I make what I'm listening to at the time. I think like if I'm listening to like a whole bunch of punk music, then I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna go out of my like. What got me into making music was Jeff Rosenstock because I met him at the first show that I saw him at. I went down to Dallas. He was playing what it was the Trees the first time. So we went down to the Trees. It was him, Roswell Kid, and the Menzingers were all
That's
playing
perfect
a
for
tour
you.
together. Oh, they're great. I love those guys. Um, I met Jeff at that show, and I also met Roswell Kid and everything. I actually had dinner with Roswell Kid the second time I saw them in Albuquerque because we just happened to end up at the same restaurant at the same time after their show. We went to Frontiers in Albuquerque, which is like this 24/7 diner, whatever the fuck. And I remember I was going to fill up my glass of sweet tea because I only drink two things in this world, and that's water and sweet tea with an occasional chocolate milk on the side. Um, and I'm walking up to the fuck, it's not, they have like the drink machine, right? And then they have like the barrels of like tea. And that's where I'm going because I'm always drinking sweet tea when I'm out in public, or I'm carrying around one of these fucking water bottles everywhere with me. Um, and as I'm walking up to the fucking sweet tea machine, or the sweet tea barrel, I walk past the machine, and the fucking lead singer of Roswell Kid is standing right there, filling up his drink. And I was like, oh, I just talked to him at the show, so I was like, hey, and he was like, hey, and we had like a little conversation. And then he was like, do you guys want to like just like hang out? Cause I mean, we're going to eat and then we're hopping back on the road. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Why not? So it's like 2 a.m. There's no one at Frontiers. We just put our, our like tables together and we just sat down and ate with them. It was like, what is it called? The fucking painting with Jesus and all his disciples at the fucking
The
dinner and
Last
shit.
Supper.
Yeah. The Last Supper. That's what it was, except it was me and the entirety of Roswell Kid and like 3 or 4 friends and one of the locals. Um, of Albuquerque because that's who took us to Frontiers because we were all a bunch of fucking tourists there. We're like, we don't know where to go. He was like, oh, we'll just go to Frontiers. His name was David. He was a really cool guy. I like David. David's fucking married with kids now and he's like an engineer and shit. That's
Cool.
crazy to me.
So that's sick. I actually recently started listening to Jeff Rosenstock. A friend of mine showed me him, and at first I wasn't convinced. But then I listened to some more stuff. My favorite tracks are 9 out of 10.
That's a great song.
Bonus Ocean.
That's another great song. A
And
lot of people sleep on I Look Like Shit. That's a great album.
Ashtray. Those are my three
Those are great
go-tos.
songs. Those are great songs.
Yeah.
My favorite off of his newest album is probably Airbnb.
Okay.
I can recite that song fucking verbatim
I feel you
without
though.
having to hear it. I love that song.
Yeah.
It's so like rhythmically pleasing.
I feel you though. I understand like like when you make music, you tend to or at least I, and I think you
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
tend to reference the music that you were recently or just listening to
Oh, for sure.
during that time, because then
For sure.
you kind of like use
Because that's
that as
what you like.
inspiration.
Yeah, it's what you like.
So
It's
I
what you
totally
want to
feel that.
hear.
I think that
Mm-hmm.
probably. I remember I've read interviews in the past, and a lot of the time bands will be like, yeah, so we were listening to a lot of like this
Mm-hmm.
at the time, so it's like that's like was an inspiration for us
Mm-hmm.
during the creative process.
Have you ever
Um,
listened to AJJ before?
yeah, I know AJJ.
They have a song where they quite literally rip the chorus from another Woody Guthrie song, and they literally in like the second verse they say something like we steal our songs from Woody Guthrie or something like that. I don't know. I love that band too. I haven't gotten to see them live. I want to. I
Cool.
really like AJJ.
AJJ, sorry, AJJ. Uh,
Hard to
so
say. You
AJJ,
catch yourself.
is that they did the it's like the something song, like the like the death song, or
I think so.
like the existential
They
something.
have a bunch of songs like that. To be fair, it's kind
What's
of their
that?
whole like
No,
discography.
no. There's that song that everyone knows them for. Um, the Body Terror song. That's it.
Oh, I'm
That's
so
it.
sorry that you. Yeah, I love that song.
I
That's
do
a
like
great
that
song.
song. I do like
That's a
that
really
song.
good
It's
one.
very creepy, and I like it.
I like that song. I like Psychic Warfare is really good. Just off of that same album, Psychic Warfare, Your Voices, I Remember It. They've got a bunch of good songs on that album.
So
That's
let's
like the
cycle
newest one, I
back.
think.
Um,
Yeah.
so with stream, this is what I wanted to ask you before. So because we were talking about streaming, you're a
Hmm.
streamer. You were banned by Twitch once.
I was.
I want to hear that. That seems like a medal of honor.
So this is like a funny story. Um I was, let's see, this is all the way back in the year of our Lord 2015. So that's like what, holy shit, what was 26 years ago? So like
2017,
19, 2015,
2015.
2015, yeah. And I was 19 at the time, and I um had my computer. I'm trying to remember exactly what the context of it was. I had my shitty computer. I had a shitty little stream set up. I was streaming my shitty little stream. It was probably in like fucking 240p and shit, and fucking frame rates probably like
So you've been
15
streaming
frames
since
per second.
2015?
Uh Not consistently. I didn't start consistently streaming until 2017.
Okay.
I had an
That's just,
idea of
yeah.
like streaming like back in 2015, and then I what did I do? I streamed something that was like copyrighted or something. And I remember
Music?
like halfway, no, I think it was a film. I think it was a movie. I think I was like looking at parts of the movie and like chatting shit about it. And honestly, I think it was fucking Creep Show 3, that fucking shitty
Creep
ass,
Show
fucking
3.
terrible fucking movie. First two Creep Shows are great. And I think really, really good like camp movies. Creep Show 3 is fucking ass and it's terrible. And I've watched it like once and no one should ever have to see that ever again. Um, but I think like halfway through the stream, like my shit just went out and I was like, the fuck? And I got like an email from Twitch and they were like, hey, you're fucking banned for like
For
streaming.
how long?
I've forever. No, it was a perma
Oh, you
ban
got
off the bat.
permabanned.
They didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a shit, which to be fair, they didn't need
Whoa.
to. I was I had like no followers and shit. So
Wow.
I was just like, damn. And I remember that like, and even then I was kind of like, it doesn't really fucking matter because my internet was too ass to stream at the time anyways. And then 2017 we got this fucking fiber optic bullshit, and I was like, oh my god, I can actually stream stuff now. I had shitty ass internet for like 10 years. Like you would not believe it, it would take me like I would have to turn my computer on, start uploading the video at night, and let it upload overnight because it would take like 10 hours to upload like a 10-minute video. My internet was fucking terrible for the longest time. So yeah, that's how I got banned off Twitch once.
That's how we got banned off Twitch.
Yep.
Wow.
It's not as exciting as people might think. I wish I did something more risque, but I didn't.
No. That's still
No.
but you got banned. That
I
still
got banned. I
counts.
can
It
say
still
that. I
counts.
can say that. I am 0-1 on Twitch right now.
So you so besides film, music, streaming. You also do Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I do.
And I
Love
need you
that
to
shit.
tell me flat out,
Mhm.
could you beat me up?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I could
So I
beat
shouldn't
most people
cross
up,
you.
to be fair. Absolutely. Well, I'm not going to beat someone up over some stupid shit. You'd have to like attack me, and then I'd have to be like, oh, great. Now I have to fuck this dude up. You know,
What is
like,
like the black belt of Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
oh my God. So the jiu-jitsu is kind of weird because so you're not going to get like your first color belt for like 2 or 3 years doing jiu-jitsu. So you're going to be a white belt for like 2 or 3 years when you start jiu-jitsu.
But it is belts, colored belts.
Yeah, yeah. So you start as white. It's white, blue, purple, brown, black. That's
Okay.
how it goes. And then they have like different degrees of black belt, and I think it goes up to like 10th or something like that. Um, and but like I said, in jiu-jitsu, I'm still a white belt in jiu-jitsu. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for
So you're a white belt and you can still kick my ass. Is that so?
absolutely, absolutely. There's some really
Interesting.
phenomenal white belts out there you would not believe. The thing is, like, people can be. I'm technically a sandbagger because I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like 10 years.
A
When I started,
sandbagger?
a sandbagger, yeah. So a sandbagger is like
That
someone who like they're competing at a level that they shouldn't be because
okay.
I am a white belt, but the problem is I've gone to like different schools and I've never been at a school long enough to get promoted. So I did jiu-jitsu for like 5 years straight. And at the
Chat
school
wants
I
to
was
see
at,
us fight and they'll pay.
fuck yeah. I mean, shit.
I do it for
If it
money.
makes us a yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
We
do it
can
for the
just split
bag.
the profits, and we could just fuck. I don't give a shit. I'll fight anyone for money.
Shit.
Um, we should set it up. They were doing all those like fucking YouTuber fights
Yeah,
like a
that'll
couple months
that
ago.
we will
We should just
we would let's start small streamers,
yeah, small streamers
small
boxing
streamer
each other,
jujitsu fights.
which is fair because there's a lot of streamers I want to box. Honestly,
Nice.
I I want to fight Tim. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even stream. I've
Tim
just
in the
wanted to fight
chat,
Tim
you're
for the
not
longest
safe.
time. Oh,
You're
I
not
tell Tim every
safe.
time I see him. Anytime me and Tim are at like a function together, it's not me and Tim hanging out unless I physically assault Tim at some point. Like I'll punch his shoulder or something when I'm walking by. Oh, small streamer Squid
Small
Game.
streamer
Yeah,
Squid Game.
yeah.
They're
Jiu-jitsu.
already doing that, Tyler. Like I've already
Oh
seen
yeah, yeah.
like big
Mr. Beast already
YouTubers put
wants to start
together
one.
Squid Game
Yeah,
things, which is, it's
unlucky.
cool. Um, but I actually do think it's really cool. I would
Yeah,
love if
I'd
there was like a
participate.
local Squid Game
Mm-hmm.
thing going on.
Twitch Fight
I
Club
would
would be
definitely do
fun.
that. It just sounds like a lot of fun. Like being a
Mm-hmm.
contestant.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. The thing is,
Like you don't chat. You but by the way, you don't die. You get shot with like a Nerf gun or like a
oh
paintball
man,
gun.
that was the payoff I was hoping for, was getting killed if I
Death.
fuck up. Yeah, honestly. Are you kidding me? That's like that's like halfway to how I punish myself for making mistakes already. You know, like I fuck up mildly and I'm like, well, now I gotta kill myself. Unlucky. Unlucky. I mean
Okay, so
I made
apparently
like the
Mr.
smallest
Beast
mistake.
is doing one and picking
Yeah.
random people and flying them out there. Should we
Nice.
apply?
Yes, absolutely.
All
I would love
right,
to
we're
go.
gonna
I'd do it.
apply. We're gonna
We're gonna do it.
apply. Yeah,
We're gonna start we gotta start the small Twitch streamers fight club too.
dude,
I
that would be
think we could
so
really
good. I love Fight Club.
we can make it happen.
I do love Fight Club.
But yeah, jiu-jitsu is really fun for me, especially because I'm a super competitive person. And this is just kind of like this is a way for me to competitively prove myself in a way that no one can fucking contest, I guess. You know, you can't be like, oh well this, that. No, no, I fucked them up. I took him to the ground. I choked the life out of him. Like, you
Yes.
know,
Fuck
yes, let's go.
Let's
So
go.
I love
Let's
it.
go.
I love it. My last tournament, actually, I lost weight so that I could be in the 200-pound division because I didn't want to be in the 215, or I wanted to be in 205 actually. And I was losing weight like a motherfucker. And I got down. I went from 220 to 199 in like 2 or 3 months, I think. And then I get to the competition, I get to the tournament, I walk in there and I weigh myself, and they're like, "Oh, hey, there's no one in the 205 division. We're gonna bump you up to 220 anyways." And I was like, "Son of a fucking bitch!" So I'm literally 199 pounds going against people who are fucking almost 30 pounds heavier than me. You haven't. I'm getting like ASMR of
Keep
you
going,
pouring
keep
your drink
going.
right now. It's great. Anyways, I had to face like people who were like two and fucking three times my fucking size in that fucking tournament, and I still came out in third place.
Let's
I might
go.
add.
Let's go.
Now, granted, I didn't submit the guy that I won against, but I got him on the ground, and I was like, I'm staying on this motherfucker until the fucking until the bell rings. Like I'm not letting him go. I'm latching onto this son of a bitch like a goddamn spider monkey, and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it.
I think that would be me. I'm small,
Right,
but I have good upper body strength, but I'm still
right.
small. So I would probably hang on to motherfucker.
See, that's the cool thing about jujitsu is it's meant for the small guy to win because
Yes.
jujitsu is all
I
about
would
like
win then, Tyler. I
yeah.
would beat your ass.
I don't know about that one.
You said. You
I got the
just said.
experience. I got the experience though, because experience top size
Whatever.
regardless.
Sorry to Nikki in the chat who can't stand the sound of drinks pouring.
Sorry, Nikki.
We both apologize.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
So that's jujitsu in a nutshell for me.
that's
It's just
jujitsu in a nutshell.
I need to get my violent urges out in like a safe way, you know? I have this like it's not psychotic, you know? It's not like I just want to hurt people. I just have the urge to be violent, you know? And this is a way that I can get it out without having to hurt innocent people, you know,
Yeah,
or like
I know what you're saying.
or breaking shit, you know?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
just and I pay someone to let me do it, so it's like I'm stimulating the economy on top of that, and then it's therapeutic for me.
Oh, we
and
love.
I don't have to pay for
We
therapy.
love a double. You're killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
You're helping the economy,
Mm-hmm.
and you're taking out your anger.
Exactly.
It's a win-win, guys. You can't argue that.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'm gonna take the conversation in a very different direction right now.
I like that.
Okay. So chat.
Thank you, Dijon.
In case you weren't aware, Tyler is autistic,
I am.
and
Hence me saying I have the urge to be violent with a straight face.
Well, I was gonna ask you so I was gonna ask you how does that affect your day to day life? Like, how does autism just apply to your state of mind, your well being, your adulthood?
Right. So I would say at this stage in my life that it doesn't really, because it's just kind of how I am now. I mean, there's Lika points it out all the time. I haven't gotten to talk about Lika a lot in this podcast, but
Sorry, you're
she's
what?
like, Lika. That's her name. She's like my rock, basically.
Oh, okay.
Like she's a sweetheart, and she's always there for me. Anytime I'm going through some fucking mental bullshit. So Lika is the one who always points out to me when I'm doing something autistic.
Is that like a
because I
friend?
don't know it. Yeah, her name's Lika. Lika. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I love Lika, and Lika loves me, and
Shout out Lika.
We're married without being married yet. We're gonna move to Sweden together and all this shit. It's great. Very
Okay.
exciting.
Am I invited to the wedding though?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna be ordaining
yeah.
it myself. That's another fun fact. I'm ordained. I can minister weddings. So
For
there's
real?
that. Yeah.
You're ordained.
I am.
Wait. We're gonna come back to the autism thing. How did you get ordained?
Online. It was something. So I was in quarantine. Right. Check it out. I'm in quarantine. I'm bored as fuck. I got nothing to do. Right. Can't go outside. Can't see my friends. No one's online during the day. It's like, fuck, I need to figure out something to do. Yay, Lika. Yeah, Lika's great. And I say to myself, okay, what is something that I can say at parties that I can do that people would be like, wow.
Oh
that's
my
crazy.
gosh.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to get ordained. So I look it up. I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm like, okay, I got to take all these classes. I got to do all this shit. I got to get these forms filled out. I got to pretend to be religious for 5 minutes, which I didn't even have to end up doing that, actually.
Yeah.
Because this church is just like, you pass the quiz, here's your papers.
Did you have to get ordained under a certain religion?
Yeah, it's a specific church that did it. I can give you the name of the church.
What's the
Anyone can
religion?
do
Just
what
give me
I
the
did.
religion.
I think they're Baptist.
Oh,
maybe?
okay.
I'm not even sure.
So
Honestly.
was the process tell me about the process.
Yeah, I just went through the church's website. You all say, yeah, you already know what the fuck it is. They're a little bit less rigorous now than they were when I first started, because they've changed their process since I did it. but I had to like sit into like these like fucking what do you call it? Like these sermons and stuff. Or not really sermons. They were like seminars. Seminars is what they are. Yeah, it's easy mode. It is. And I just kind of it was like a week long thing. I think it might not even been a week long. You can kind of speed run that shit, honestly.
Yo, ordained dude, ordained speedrun? Chat.
Yeah,
Is
ordained
that my
speed
next
run.
stream? Ordained speedrun?
Best speed run NA anytime, any percent.
Dude, that's so funny. Quickest that'll be the title. That'll be the YouTube title. Quickest ordained
I should
speedrun.
have streamed it. I should have.
You
But I
should have
just like
streamed
I
it.
kind of talked about it on stream and was just like, "Hey, I'm ordained now. Cool."
That's sick, dude. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that
And
about you.
as a matter of fact, I'll be ordaining my friend's wedding.
Oh my god. I was gonna say, like,
In time.
have you put it to use yet?
No, no, I haven't gotten to ordain a wedding yet, but my friend is going to have me do
Bro,
his wedding.
if my ass ever gets married,
Uh-huh.
which is seeming unlikely at this point,
I
but
doubt that.
if I get married, I might have to fly your ass out to
Oh, I'd
wherever
happily.
I am in that
Would
point
happily.
in my
I will
life,
if
and you
I'm
might
at
have to marry
Sweden.
my sorry ass.
Yeah, if I'm at Sweden by that point, I will literally fly across the ocean to come back and ordain your wedding easily.
Okay, okay.
And I'll do it for anyone too. On top of that, here's the thing. Here's how my ordaining works. All you have to do is just pay my travel. I'm not charging anything on top of that. I'm not charging you for the marriage license. None
I
of that
got
shit.
you.
That's all free.
Wait a second. I was gonna say that'll be your wedding gift to me, but if I'm paying for you,
It's a little confusing, I know, but
we'll
it's
figure
fun
it
though.
out. I'm down.
It's
I'm
gonna be
down.
cool. I'm excited to ordain someone's wedding.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it's it was just I was literally in quarantine, like goddamn, I'm bored as fuck. I need some shit to do,
Yeah,
and I got ordained.
yeah.
That was something I did. So there was that.
I actually, I'm thinking about it now. I went to a wedding earlier this year, and I'm pretty sure the best man. Well, I guess he wasn't the best man. The best friend, because he was the minister, so he wasn't the best man. But he was their best friend. He got ordained and he married them. And dude, this motherfucker, Tyler. I'm saying this for your benefit. You have to kill it, because this dude, he was so funny, and like he's such a sweet talker. He like made the whole ceremony really just exciting and interesting, and it was great. So you
I
you
fully
have to
intend to treat the whole thing like a stand-up comedy bit.
yeah,
Like,
you
it's-
have
it's
you
gonna
have to
be
you have
doing
to be
open mic
smooth
night
the
again,
whole time. You have to
but for
you
someone's
have to
wedding.
come out of that wedding where it's like, oh yeah, like the bride and groom are beautiful, but like that minister,
The minister, yeah. Oh, they're gonna remember me.
hell yeah.
They're gonna remember me, dude. Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
gonna have a
all right,
fucking
all right.
great time.
Enough of this bullshit. Back to the
Yeah.
autism.
Yeah, it's cool. It's there. I got diagnosed when I was 5, so it's just kind of been like my whole life basically. But I definitely noticed that I have a habit of saying things just immediately how I see them, and some people don't like that. And it's so funny. My friend Ackley the other day, she lives in the UK and she's also a sweetheart. But I'm not married to her. Like I'm married to Lika. So, Ackley was telling me the other day that I'm like, she used the word abrasive to describe me, and I was like, I'm abrasive, really? And then I said to her, I was like, can you explain that to me, like what you mean? And she just said that you kind of like say things how they are, and it's kind of like intimidating to people.
Huh.
And I was like, oh,
I mean,
I
like
didn't know that.
personally, like would you want someone to not tell you how it is, and like at least
yeah.
I mean,
I think people want things
sugar coated.
fed to them in a certain in a way that it's pleasant for them, and I don't do that. I just say things. I just say my opinion. I just say how I feel about various things. And sometimes I
Yes.
don't think about it. I don't think about what I'm saying when I say it. I just say exactly what, like, for example, earlier with my whole urge to be violent thing.
Yeah.
That's how I think of it, and
I
that's how
think
I'm going to
that
say it.
I think that to maybe society that would come off as negative
Yeah.
and perhaps scary in a way.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when you
for
said it to
sure.
me, I was just like, oh yeah, dude, I get that shit too. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah,
all
yeah.
have we all get angry and have urges to be
Everyone has like deep down,
violent
like
or
a-
just like
a
I don't know, like get your
animalistic
frustrations out in some way or another. Like we all like I'll usually just throw on some screamo and just like headbang my neck off,
needing. Right.
and or just like I don't know, write music.
Yeah.
Like
Drive around maybe.
driving around, yeah.
Yeah, listen to like
I
some
mean,
listening to
and
music
like it
loud in your
feels nice
car.
to like hit like a punching bag,
Oh
like
yeah, dude.
once in a
Oh, I
while.
got one in my room
Hell
that I
yeah,
beat the fuck out of every other
yeah.
day. So yeah.
Honestly, I think it's healthy.
Yeah, and I think exercise is something that has been helping me a lot recently with that because it is like I just need to get that like um the burst out of my body, I guess. So I've been like doing miles recently every day. I run a mile.
I love that for you,
And I've been trying to like get a better time each day. Today I hit
dude. Yes,
14:43.
competition
Oh
is
yeah.
what drives us as humans.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, like that's such an it's such an integral part of who we are as
Mm-hmm.
fucking animals to be competitive. And it's great to use that as motivation to better yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
respect, respect.
but talking more about autism,
Right.
I mean I have some funny stories from like when I
I
was a
would
kid
love
and I
a
said some
funny
shit that I
story.
shouldn't have. Like, okay, so here's one. And it's probably just me being a kid, honestly. I was like
Okay.
5 or 6 when this happened. Me and my mom. So we have an Air Force base by where I live called Cannon. Um, and my parents and I, we used to get our meds from out there because my parents are former Air Force, so they're able to get onto the base. Um, and we would get our meds out there. And I remember one day we were waiting in like the little like lobby area that they have at the pharmacy, and Jesus Christ, this this black guy walks in. This tall, bald black guy who is he's obviously like a soldier. You know, he's wearing the uniform and everything. And I look at him and I say, "Mom, look, it's Michael Jordan." And my fucking mom just goes, "Oh Jesus fucking
How old were
Christ."
you?
I was 5. I was
That's
5 years
that's
old
okay,
at the time.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
I could get
okay.
away with it. But then there's like other things where it was like definitely very bad. Like my barber. I had a barber when I was a kid named Rudy, right? And he shows me a picture of his deceased wife. Um,
I already love where this is heading.
and I just flat out say she's ugly, like straight to his fucking face, like immediately. It was like an old photo, probably. It probably looked like shit, you know?
How
Like
old are you?
I was this is once again like in the like probably like 4 or 5 range, probably. Like I was a young kid, you know. My mom fucking she was mad as shit. She took me
She's
home. She was like,
ugly.
"You're gonna write him a letter of apology. You're gonna say you're fucking
Oh my
sorry, all
god.
this shit." And I was like, "Okay." It's thanks to my mom that I'm able to like. I'm not gonna say I turned out normal because I didn't, but I'm able to like
Fuck normal.
socialize,
I
and
think
I'm
you're
able to
great.
like. Thank you, I appreciate it. I think you're great too, Dino. So, but I'm able to like. I'm able to express myself because, and the thing is, like with me expressing myself, it's kind of a chore for me because I am like what you're seeing right now. I'm thinking through how I'm presenting myself, how I'm saying things, every hand motion, every inflection of my voice. I'm thinking these things through as I'm doing them because if it was up to me, I wouldn't have any expressions, I wouldn't have any inflections, my face would never change, my tone would never change, it would all stay the same. But I know in my fucking heart and soul that in order for me to be interesting to an audience, I need to present myself in such a way that is going to be more compelling for people to listen to. You know, like I need to put on this face, and it's really exhausting. Like streaming something that I do a lot, and it gets very tiresome for me to keep up my enthusiasm all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's calculated when you exactly when I'm not
Also, shout out
doing
to Tasers in the chat who says you guys are awesome. We
no
appreciate
you
that.
tasers, we heart
No,
tasers.
you.
Yeah,
We heart
we heart
Tasers.
tasers. Yeah. Um, and so
Yeah, sorry. And again, respect said everything is calculated when you're not in your bubble.
and there's like one person, it's like 2 or 3 people that I feel like I can genuinely just like be my like boring self to. Like Tim allows me
You
to do
said
it.
boring?
Yeah, I'm
You feel
very
like you're
boring.
boring?
I'm a very boring person once you like break me down to
Huh.
like past like all this
I never got
presentation
that from you.
bullshit.
You never
Well,
seem boring to me.
it's because I don't show myself as I like truly am on the internet, I guess, you know, because the thing is whenever I'm like actually in like my normal mode, I don't once again, I don't express anything. I don't like it's very like it's monotone, everything's straightforward. I'm not gonna have any inflections in my voice. I'm gonna tell you everything how I feel exactly.
Yeah.
And generally it's usually just me info dumping on something that I'm really into at the time, because having autism means I have hyperfixations, which and that comes with a lot of mental illnesses though. But
Right.
autism especially, we get like super obsessed with something for like an extended period of time. My
Yeah. I
last
mean, I don't know
hyperfixation.
if this applies, and I'm not even
Mhm.
trying to
No, no, you're good.
relate in any way,
Hmm.
but I mean, like I personally have ADHD,
Hmm.
and I definitely
Oh,
understand
you
that.
definitely have hyperfixations then. Yeah,
I definitely understand those
definitely do.
hyperfixations.
Yep.
That yeah. But the
Like,
way you're describing it, it's kind of like that. There's like part of your mind that where this like autism exists that is
hmm,
constantly buzzing.
hmm.
And do you feel like you have to like um, subdue it in a way?
In a manner of speaking, yes, because sometimes I feel like I might info dump about something and I might just be like boring people to tears with it. Because the reason I don't want to info dump to people is because sometimes I'm not going to get all of my thoughts out there, and I feel like it's going to make me feel like what I was trying to say was incomplete. So like with Tim or Lika, I'll tell them beforehand, like, I mean, not with Tim. Tim just lets me talk ad nauseum, and I appreciate it. But I tell Lika,
Side
like, can
note,
I?
I like hearing you talk.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I tell Lika, like, I'm gonna info dump to you now about this specific
Also
thing that
love
I'm
that
really
phrase.
into. Yeah, and she's like, okay, tell me all about it. Like last time it was Borrowed Trauma,
Oh,
which is a game that I've been playing a shit ton of. And I told Lika, like, can I just info dump to you about Borrowed Trauma real quick? She's like, absolutely, go ahead. And I'm on her stream and I'm just like, I'm listing off every single detail of this game and every single aspect and everything that I love about it
and does
and why
that
it's so
like
cool to me.
does when you're info dumping,
Mm-hmm.
does that bring you peace in a
Yes.
way?
Yes. It stimulates my mind to talk about things that I enjoy.
Huh.
Like because it feels like I'm holding all of this information inside of me, which is why Dead by Daylight, streaming Dead by Daylight's been so nice for me, because that was my hyperfixation for like a year straight. Um, and it just feels it feels really good when I stream Dead by Daylight, because people come in and they ask me questions about the game and stuff, and that allows me to just be like, oh yeah, this that. Oh, you want to know how this perk works? Yeah, sure, I can show you this killer, this that, and it just allows me to info dump in a way that's helpful to someone. And then on top of that, it also like quells my autism to be able to info dump to these people.
Wow.
And then on top of that, it makes me money too. So that's also nice as well.
Or not even like quells, but like it's kind of like a sack of air,
Mm-hmm.
and like being able to info dump is allowing you to like not
Lets me
like a
empty my head.
balloon, and then like a balloon, and you're like able
Mm-hmm.
to like let out the air.
Mm-hmm. It empties my head
Yeah.
of like this information to put it onto someone else, and it just makes me. It feels good to be listened to
Yeah.
about
Absolutely.
something that you really enjoy.
I think everyone can relate to that.
Yeah, people like talking about the things that they love, and I'm
Yeah,
always open to listening to people talk about the things that they love. I try to intentionally like get people to talk about things that they like. Like if they mention it in conversation, I'm like, why don't you tell me more about this? Because I love when people talk about things that they enjoy.
for
Like
sure.
Tim, for example, I'll bait him all the time. I'll be like Rimworld, for example, he'll be really into sometimes, and I'm just like, just explain like the details of it to me. Like I want to understand. Or Lika, she'll tell me about things sometimes, and I'm just and I'll always try to delve deeper into whatever she's talking about.
Honestly, like that's definitely universal. I think that
Mm-hmm,
we all just we all have things that we're like into. And I
mm-hmm,
think that so many people across the world, they're they never have the chance to like talk about what
mm-hmm.
um,
What they
brings them
really enjoy.
happiness, what they're
Mm-hmm,
passionate about. And I
right.
mean that's beautiful, Tyler. I think that I love that the fact that
Mm-hmm,
you go out of your way to make people feel
mm-hmm.
like safe, and
Oh, for
like
sure.
giving them like a pair of ears or a pair
Mm-hmm.
of eyes to like let them gush about what they love. I
Anything,
think that's
honestly.
beautiful, man.
I'm an open book when it comes to like stuff like this. Like I did a mental health stream the other day, where I just kind of talked openly about like how my mental health has been doing, and I talked about Lika, And the other day, I just woke up in a shit, like feeling awful. And I did like,
As we all do.
I treated her really shitty, is what I'm going to say, first thing in the morning. And I felt awful about it all day. But she like understands that like I get that way sometimes, you know, and me and her are like there for each other whenever one's stressed out. Something she did for me this morning because I was panicking about my health because I'm a fucking hypochondriac. She wanted me to describe, and this is something I do for her too. Whenever she starts panicking, I tell you, um, find an object in the room and describe it to me, and describe every detail about it to me, because I feel like whenever she starts panicking, if I give her something to focus on, it helps her calm down.
Wow.
You know, and Lika's someone that like she's called me like mid mental breakdown, and
Yeah.
I've like sat on the phone with her
Yeah.
and just like tried to get her to, you know, go home and get in bed and just kind of be safe. And then she does the same thing for me when I kind of lose my fucking mind. So it was a great stream, respects. I really enjoyed the mental health stream because I got to be open with everyone, you know, and mental health is something that I like avoided talking about on my stream for the longest time because I was like, oh, no one gives a shit about this. People don't fucking come to my stream to hear about how I'm doing. No one gives a shit how I'm doing. We're here to watch me play
I
video
just
games.
tell my community. I kind of like I kind of front a bit. I'm just like, chat, I'm Sag today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Sag. But obviously underneath that, I'm like actually dealing with like real shit. But like obviously
Mm-hmm.
I do feel I know what you mean. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't want to
cuz
burden people when they come here
yeah,
because this
you
is
don't want
supposed
to
to be a
burden
fun
people.
place.
But like everyone feels Sag.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Everyone
now
feels
I've
Sag from time to
realized
time.
because Lika on her stream is open about everything. She talks about her mental health. She talked about her mental breakdown when she had it and how she called me and I did, and she was fucking crying in the middle of nowhere and shit, and she was super fucking scared and all this. And so I saw her talking about it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You know, it's my stream. These people ultimately, I want to believe, are here for me. I know some people are just here for Dead by Daylight because you know that's just a fact of the matter. But I want to believe these people are here for me. And so if I want to talk about myself, I should talk about myself. And then on top of that, she made me realize if I talk about how I'm doing, and you know, and I talk about like a shitty time I'm going through or a shitty time that I went through, maybe someone out there who's going through a similar shitty time or has experienced a similar shitty time is number one, they're either going to feel like it gets better or they're going to feel like
That's it.
um, they're not alone
Yeah,
in that
that's
kind of
it.
thing, you know? So that's ultimately,
I do the same, man. I always
you know,
I when I talk about that stuff like online or
mm-hmm,
um, through my music or just some kind of creative outlet,
mm-hmm,
I one of like my primary thoughts is that someone out there might listen to this or read this or watch
mm-hmm,
this and relate and maybe it'll help them out. And
absolutely.
it's helping me out to just get this out there and like
Mm-hmm,
even better if it helps someone else out too.
right.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that chat does too. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's such a relatable thing.
And Leak has helped me come to a lot of conclusions about, you know, my mental health, and it has definitely helped me start to view myself better because I was someone who I guilted myself over a lot of things. See, here's this here. Let's break a quick stigma about autism because a
Do
lot
it.
of there's a lot of propaganda and a lot of like visual mediums depict autism as like we're like people who don't feel things,
Uh huh.
you know,
Yeah.
which is not true. It's actually, I have found it's actually in the complete other direction where I feel shit way too much. I take things way too personally. I'm way too sensitive and I get very upset about a lot of things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and, and I let my brain talk myself into this corner where I'm like, I'm being dramatic, I'm being this, I'm being that, whatever. And Lika has sort of helped me bring myself out of that. She's like, you're not being this, you're not being that. Your brain's just being fucking stupid and it's telling you, it's feeding you this bullshit and you need to not listen to it. But she understands how hard that is. So she just talks me through it whenever it starts happening. Because I do have like a lot of like doubt about myself. I have a lot of doubt about things I want to do. I have a lot of like self doubt about things I can do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just kind of you have to address it and you have to learn what to do with it, you know? And what I've learned to do with it is I have to physically force it out of myself through like exercise, jujitsu. And then on top of that, I have to not let myself tell myself not to do something.
Yeah.
I have to, and another thing, and this goes for, you know, any kind of mental illness, don't ever take what you see on TV or what the internet tells you or anything like that. That's however you are is how you are. And don't let the world try to convince you that something's wrong with you because you're not like how their depiction of that bullshit is, you know?
Yeah, man.
Like I watch Atypical and there's aspects of it where I'm like, yeah,
I've seen that.
that
Yeah.
kind of checks out, you know? Like, but they definitely hearken way too deeply into like the socially awkward side of autism, which I'm obvious, you know, I definitely have my moments, but for the most part, I can carry myself pretty fucking well. I can
Sure.
speak, you know, ad nauseum about whatever the fuck if you just give me the opportunity. It's just I get exhausted later, you know? Like when I socialize too much, I go home and I just fucking conk the fuck out. I put on some music. I don't talk to anyone for like a couple hours. Like I just want to be alone
I
for a little
certainly
bit.
feel that,
Just
brother.
not talk to anyone. Yeah. You know, turn the lights off, just sit in a dark room, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just I just want to get it out there that you don't have to believe any media's representation of you or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
you're looking at it, guys. Like,
mm-hmm,
this is someone who deals with autism
mm-hmm.
on the daily
Yep.
in his adult life, and you are a real, not
I'm a real
human.
person.
You are a real vibe.
I am a
This
real
is just
vibe.
an autistic vibe, you guys.
Uh-huh. That's what I'm that's what I'm bringing to the table. That's the funniest fucking thing I think I've heard.
Okay.
I love when it shows itself like randomly too. You
What?
know, like my autism. I love when it shows itself randomly.
Yeah.
Nika was streaming the other day. We're playing Dead by Daylight. My friend Lily was playing with us, and she was healing me. She missed a skill check. It fucked my world up. I was like, ah, shit. And then like we're healing Lika later, and she's like, oh, you should stab me too. And I just plain as day go, okay, and automatically miss a skill check, and she lost her fucking mind. She's like, that's the most autistic thing I've ever seen you do
We're
on
talking about
stream.
D&D, folks.
What about D&D?
Skill check.
Yeah, DBD. There's a moth on me. Okay,
DVD, but also
a little
D&D.
bit. Come back. Come back.
Okay.
Yes.
This was a heavy subject. We learned a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something
Let's brighten the mood.
a little bit lighter. That you can info dump
Uh huh.
over my gosh darn head,
Mm-hmm.
and that's horror.
I do love
You
horror.
love horror.
Mm-hmm.
I hate horror. I once in college,
Uh-huh.
I had a date with this girl who I was super into,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Let's go to the." She asked me out. Let's
Yeah.
go to the movies. Let's go see. It was The Evil Dead. When I
The new
I
one.
think the reboot
The
that
new
came
yeah,
out
yeah,
like years
the new
ago,
one.
back in
And
20,
that movie fucks, by the way.
2013, I think.
I love that fucking movie. Yeah, that's a good
She
one.
was like, "Let's go here," and she sent me that text, and I'm with my friends, and I'm like, "I'm gonna say no. I can't go. I can't, dude. I can't go to a horror
Yeah.
movie. Like I can't. Like I'm gonna get scared. I can't do
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm gonna be in a movie theater. I'm gonna be with this girl. Like it's not gonna be good for me, guys. Like I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
no." And they were like, "Are you fucking crazy right now? Like
Yeah.
you like go on the fucking date."
Yeah.
And I did go on the date. It went
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And actually the movie wasn't that bad. It actually wasn't
Evil
that
Dead's
scary.
fun. Evil Dead's a fun movie.
It was more like
It's a good
fun than
one.
scary.
Mm-hmm. That's
But
what Evil Dead sort of is. It's more campy.
that's how I deal with horror though. Like I can't
Mm-hmm.
like somebody asked me to watch a horror movie and like fucking chat tells me to play horror games like, oh, like
Yeah.
it's so funny, like Dino's gonna get scared, like blah blah blah. Like chat, when I played first of all, when I played Outlast, I was scarred for a week. When I played Doki Doki Literature Club, I couldn't sleep for like a couple of days. It
Yeah.
actually fucking affects me. I don't do
Right.
well with horror, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give you the chance right now. Convince me to like horror.
Okay, so I can't do that. Here's the thing with me, right? Like I get scared of things. I definitely do. But when I'm scared, and this isn't just like games or whatever, like I kind of overact when I'm streaming myself getting scared of shit. But when I actually get scared, I don't react because in my mind, that's giving whatever's scaring me the advantage, you know? So when I get scared, I just internalize that shit and I just try to straight face it, you know? You got to use a VR. Oh yeah, I play Phasmophobia with this fucking thing right
Even
here.
Phasmo, I can
With
play
this,
Phasmophobia. It's a fun game, but I still get scared. VR would fuck me up.
that's what I like about it. I like
That's what
being scared
that's
though.
what people always say.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't buy it. People always say that shit. Like, oh, why do you like horror? Oh, like I like the adrenaline. I like
Mm-hmm.
being scared. Like
I
I
do.
like bullshit,
It's
dude.
the same reason I do
That
jujitsu. I
shit
like the adrenaline. I
kills
like,
me.
yeah,
I can't do it. It genuinely it
yeah,
my Outlast stream, chat was loving it. Chat was having
yeah.
such a good ass time.
Oh, for
I
sure.
was genuinely on my deathbed. I was
Yeah.
so terribly frightened.
See, I can do fear. I can do fear. I can't do disgust, right? I can't gross myself out because I will actually throw up. But like being afraid, that's fine. I can do that all day. I had a girlfriend like 2 or 3 years ago. Her name was Tanner. Um she had
Shout out Tanner.
yeah, shout out Tanner. Tanner's cool. Tanner deserves a shout out. She's cool. We ended on mildly, it's whatever. Um
Okay.
but she went to college in Albuquerque, which is like UNM, and she had this fucking psychology of horror class. Oddly specific topic, first off, but second, but that was literally the whole class. They would sit and they would watch like horror movies, um, and then they would like have like discussions about them and quizzes about them and all this shit. Um, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, I want to sit in on that. Excuse me, I would love to. And so every week he'd give her a new movie to watch, and we would watch it together. And there were some in there that just like it's very hard to really scare me with a movie. You can get me emotionally involved. I can feel tension, but it's very hard to like actually scare me. I think the like scariest thing I've seen recently, the last thing that like really like scared the shit out of me was
Wait, do that again.
that's me being scared.
Wait, wait. Turn your head to the side. Okay, ready? Turn it back.
Okay.
Boo.
Uh. I think the thing that got closest to scaring me recently was the show called Ju-on Origins on Netflix. Have you ever heard of it?
Is it
So
horror?
Ju-on, yeah,
Why would
scary
I
as
hear
shit.
of it?
We're gonna have to break you into it is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take it slowly, but
Dude,
we're
I
gonna start with like
can't.
the campy '80s horror,
That
and you'd be
stuff's
like,
okay with me.
this shit's
That
spooky
stuff's
as
okay
fuck.
with
Yeah,
me.
exactly. We'll watch like fucking Maniac Cop and stupid shit like that.
No,
Like,
but dude, like Tasers remembers this.
mhm.
Tasers. I must have been back in high school,
Right.
maybe high school, maybe college. I think it was high school.
The raid
Thank you for
Tasers.
rating us, crazy.
Yeah,
We fucking
fuck
love your
yeah.
ass.
Love to
Tasers.
see it.
I went to a movie with Tasers and a bunch of our
Mhm.
friends. I think we saw. Was it like Annabelle or some shit like that, or Mother?
Those
And
fucking movies
I
crack me
kid
up.
you not, dude. It
Uh
was like
huh.
5-10 minutes into this movie, I bailed. I
Right.
was like, I'm out, guys. I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't do this. And I went and I watched my stupid idiot brother
Uh huh.
by my fucking self,
Uh huh.
instead of watching a horror movie with my friends. Because that's how bad I can't handle horror. That's how
Really?
much of a
I
little
love you too,
bitch I am.
crazy. So here's the
That's how
thing.
much.
I'm like the opposite because you bring up Annabelle. I remember one night I was at a party at my friend Austin's house, and it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, and Austin's like, "We should watch one of the Annabelle movies," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude, let's do it."
I'm out.
And so we're at. I'm not gonna state any specifics, but we're in this fucking mansion basically that's owned by one of the family members of who's throwing the party and all this shit. Also, hi, Crazy Anubis. It's good to see you
We love
again.
you, crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
Tasers. I am a wimp. You remember?
and so in this, it's like a home theater is what we're basically in, right? And so it's got like the speaker, like surround sound bullshit all around you, you know. And I remember we're sitting there, we're watching Annabelle. I think it's Annabelle Creation or some shit. I don't fucking remember. But either way, we're watching this movie and I am fucking falling asleep. The scary shit's happening and I'm just fucking and I get woken up because it's
Wait,
like
it was just it
like
was just
fucking
boring.
yeah, it bored me to shit. Sometimes horror movies just bore the ever living. Like The Exorcist, for example, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. It did two fucking things for me. It made me
Well,
laugh and
I
it
can
made me
watch the
fall
old
asleep.
one.
It's fucking ridiculous. Either way, I've fallen asleep in modern horror movies. I've fallen asleep in old ones. Like either way, I can. If they don't interest me, if they bore me to fucking tears, what was that goddamn piece of shit I watched on Netflix? It was this fucking terrible fucking movie that had like this really cool premise that I was like, oh yeah, that seems pretty cool. And then they just did stupid shit with it. And I was like, wow, this is fucking boring as all can be. I can't even remember what it was called. It was some stupid ass straight to Netflix fucking bullshit dumb movie. But yeah, I it takes a lot to really scare me. And what usually ends
You're
up
not
scaring
convincing me, dude. You're
no?
you're saying it takes a lot
Well,
to
yeah,
scare me.
I'm saying you're a coward is what it is. I'm saying you're a coward. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fight
Here's the
you.
thing. I can't,
I'm gonna come.
that's fine.
I'm gonna
That's
come
fine.
to New Mexico and fight your ass,
You see,
and then we'll
I'm
hang
being
out. But I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
fight
afterwards. Yeah,
you
for sure. We'll
too.
fight first.
We'll fight
It's
first.
the battle of the news, right? Because you're coming from like New York, I'm in New Mexico. It works out.
I'm not
We
gonna
can
say
sell
where I'm
this.
coming from, but I'm gonna come at you.
Okay, that's fine. You would not be the first or last person to try that. So it'll work out. It'll
I
work
should
out.
run
We
a
can
poll
fight.
right now. Who would win the fight? Okay.
Tyler or the guy who
You
walked
did
out
a
of an
terrible job
Annabelle
of convincing
movie.
me to like horror.
I'm not. Here's the thing: you can't convince someone to like a genre of movies that they
Why? But
don't. You
why do
know,
you like it? Why?
I
Like
just enjoy
when I
it.
watch a movie, my guy, like or a show, I'm watching for like the substance. I'm
Yeah,
watching for the substance.
yeah.
I wanna feel shit. I wanna
There's
cry.
plenty of
I wanna
horror films with
think. I
substance.
wanna
Yeah, there's plenty
laugh.
of horror films like that.
I don't wanna get scared. I don't wanna get
There's
scared.
plenty of horror films that do exactly that
No
though.
fucking way.
There is.
Horror films like the plot is always super shallow. There's no plot. It's just
No,
horror.
you're talking about slashers. I'm talking about like genuine fleshed out horror films is
What
what I'm talking about.
like Hannibal?
I guess you could put Hannibal up there if you wanted to. But I'm thinking of like I'm trying to remember what I saw a movie a while ago. What the fuck was it? I mean, The Ritual is really good. That's one that I think of whenever I think of a horror movie that's got like substance to it because it's a great story about like grief and shit. And like Wreck's really good. Like that's a movie that I think is genuinely like scary and like scared me, honestly. Wreck is a movie that scared the shit out of me. I watched that movie during the day and I had to like turn the volume down because I was like, this shit, I can't fucking handle this shit. This is too fucking much for me.
No.
And it wasn't even in a language I could
No.
fucking understand. It was in fucking Spanish for that matter,
No.
you know? And I'm sitting here watching this Spanish horror film and I'm having a fucking great time. And I recommended it to all my friends. I was like, you guys got to watch this.
I don't understand you guys.
But I think
I
of
don't
Brightburn. I didn't watch
understand your
Brightburn.
kind, Tyler. I don't understand your kind.
You love The Omen? I fell asleep during The Omen too.
Everyone
Both
in
the
chat
remake.
right now, I don't understand you if you like horror. I guess I respect y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I get what you're saying though. I think like
think
if I
you're
was
just
to like
you're.
get into it, you're like
I could
break
show you like
yourself into
Perfect
it.
Blue would be another one. Like
But
the
how do
thing
you
is,
not? How do you?
it's
Am I? Surely someone can relate to this watching this now or in the future. But like, am I the only one that like I'll watch a horror movie and it'll like suck for me, but like it'll have long lasting effects. Like I'll be afraid of
for
like
sure.
the
Oh,
dark and like
yeah, that
going to
happens to people.
sleep and like looking under the
Oh,
bed and
dude,
like
every
opening
time,
closets and like fucking dolls.
even if I don't like a horror movie, I still carry a paranoia from it afterwards, especially if it has like a
Why
realistic.
would you do that to yourself?
Because I'm already fucking paranoid, dude. It doesn't matter. I already feel like I'm gonna get killed by something coming through this fucking window, anyways.
Oh, okay. This
So I
just
may
makes
as well
sense
just
for
fuck
you.
around with it. Yeah, yeah. That's fucking. This is life for me. Like it doesn't bother me none. Like it's just how it is.
That
you know?
can't be like. That can't be how it's like for everyone who likes horror.
Jacob's Ladder's good as well. Another one with substance.
Go ahead, rattle them off, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Rattle them off for the
Here's
world
the
to
thing.
hear.
Here's the thing. I feel like you're painting like all of horror with the same brush when really, like every genre, it has its good ones, it has its bad ones. Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's all scary. If
You're
it
generalizing right now. This is literally what racists do down there. You can't do
I'm
this.
racist,
You're
guys. I'm a horror
racist against
racist.
horror
I'm a
movies.
horror racist. I'm a
Yeah,
racist.
it's a racist. Yeah, it's the thing. You just gotta. You can't look at a genre and go, "Oh, I hate all of this." You know, like
Okay,
because they're
I
not
will
all the
say
same.
the only kind of horror I like the slasher films because they're more
Well, because that's
funny
stupid shit.
and
Yeah,
stupid.
that's what you're complaining about, though. You're saying
No,
horror
I'm not.
movies don't
No,
have any
no,
substance.
no, no,
But now you're
no,
saying you like the stupid shit. Is
no.
what you're saying. Like,
I I have watched like a non goofy horror
mm-hmm,
movie, like the
mm-hmm.
real shit.
What was that?
It
You're That's the standard. It the new
it,
one or
bro.
the original
It.
one? The new one
I'll,
or the original one?
the new one.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Get out of here.
Oh
That movie
shit,
made me laugh my
guys.
ass off. I can't
Tyler's
even
done with
fucking
me.
lie to you. That movie made me fucking laugh so hard. Slasher flicks are
It
great.
scared me. I remember watching. I watched it in theaters with my friends. I didn't bail out this time, but I remember clinging onto my friend's arm the entire. I was basically like on his lap the entire time because I was scared.
I laughed my ass off that whole movie. I thought it
I
was the
was
funniest shit I've ever
scared. I
seen in
was
my
scared.
life.
I was scared. Stop.
And I mean, I liked that movie. I just thought it was so. I just think I thought it was funny. I really
Crazy in
did.
chat. The new Scream, I'm excited for.
I
Scream
love
is
Scream.
cool. Scream is a cool
Scream's great.
movie to me. It's
See,
not
there you go.
scary. It's just cool.
There you go. That's technically a horror film. It's a
Yes,
parody of
guys,
horror
I like
films.
horror.
There you go. See, we got one. We did it.
You didn't
We
really
found a
convince me
horror
though.
film.
That's
No, but
probably
we
just a
found a
me
horror
problem
film.
though.
We found a horror film that you like. Is the thing though,
I do like
and
Scream.
that's a start because Scream is like it's a whole. There's
You know
a whole
what? I
mess of
also
movies
like
like Scream.
what's that? What's that movie? Five Nights at Freddy's or some shit?
You mean the game?
No, it's a movie.
There's no movie. There's no movie. There's no movie for Five Nights at Freddy's that
Five
I'm aware of.
Freddy's.
Are you thinking of Willy's Wonderland?
Five Nights at Freddy Krueger's.
No. Freddy Krueger is a Nightmare on Elm Street.
That one.
Yeah,
That movie was funny as hell.
that movie's great. Freddy's
When he
fucking
called her on the
hilarious.
phone,
Mm-hmm.
and she
And the
was
tongue
like,
comes through and shit.
"Hello," and,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm your boyfriend now, bitch."
Yeah,
That was so funny.
yeah, he's hilarious. Freddy's
That
funny.
was
See, that's
so
that's the
funny. I
same
like
guy.
that movie.
That's the same guy who did Scream.
Wasn't her name like
It's Wes
Cindy?
Craven.
Like, hey,
Nancy.
Cindy. Hey, Nancy.
Nancy Thompson.
I'm your boyfriend now, bitch.
You
That
hang up
was
on me
so
again, I'll
funny.
gut you like a fish. Yeah, that's Wes Craven.
was
It's the same
so
guy.
funny.
It's the same guy. I love Wes Craven.
That horror, I'm cool with. That horror is hilarious.
Wes Craven. The thing about Wes Craven is he has like that kind of stuff, and then he did like The Hills Have Eyes and shit like that. So he can do like serious stuff too. That's what's
But,
fun
like,
about Wes Craven.
The horror that like actually, I just can't do it.
Yeah. That's the thing is you have to be willing to want to subject yourself to it.
And I think you're crazy for wanting that. Like,
Well, the thing is,
wanting that.
I love
Yes,
all kinds of movies.
please.
I'll watch anything.
Please scare me so much that my heart stops.
Yeah.
And I have
Nothing scares me that
nightmares
much.
for the week.
I don't remember the last time a movie gave me nightmares. I'll be honest. Maybe like Jurassic Park when I was 3, maybe.
Fuck you. Whatever.
But it's
We're
just
built
it's
differently.
no. It's just I enjoy all kinds of movies is the thing. So I'm a bad person to try to gauge this from because I'll watch fucking anything if it intrigues me, right? And even if it doesn't, sometimes my friends are like, "Hey, we're gonna watch Thanksgiving," and it's this stupid movie about this turkey going around killing people, and it talks shit to them and all this shit. Like it's ridiculous and fucking stupid.
You ever watch Homeless Man with a Shotgun?
No, I haven't gotten the chance to watch that one. I need to. I bet it's a classic. I honestly, it's getting to be that time where I have to watch Jack Frost again. The horror movie Jack Frost is about a killer snowman.
I've seen the movie about Santa Claus who's actually a murderer.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
That one's good. It's called Santa's Sleigh, but like sleigh.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It's funny.
No, Jack
It's
Frost
just
is
funny.
about like this serial killer gets like he's in like a car wreck and this acid spills over him and it turns him into like a living snowman that goes around killing people, and it's
Oh, that's so
so fucking
stupid.
funny. And he's so fucking he's the funny part because he
Those horror
talks the
movies
whole
I could
time.
watch.
And Willy's Wonderland is another great movie too.
Willy's
That one's
Wonderland,
fucking great. That one's so good. Nicolas
Krampus. I don't
Cage.
think it was Tasers. It wasn't Krampus, but it's similar
Mm-hmm.
to Krampus. I think it's called
Yeah.
Santa's Sleigh.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about like Santa Claus who's like actually an asshole and goes around murdering people.
Mm-hmm. And like I was saying, there's ones that like I don't like horror movies that are just like gross, and they're just gross for the sake of being gross. Like I don't
Sure,
enjoy those kind of movies.
sure.
Like there was this movie called The Perfection. If anyone's ever seen it, it's on Netflix. It's fucking terrible. It's a goddamn awful movie. I hated it. But I have this fucking terrible habit where even if I like hate a movie like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I have to keep watching because it might get better.
Right.
What if it gets like batshit crazy towards the end and I miss
Yeah.
that?
It's
Like
hard.
how
It's hard to like stop a movie halfway. Like, it's
Mhm.
like you put it on, you're invested. You're gonna
Mhm.
keep watching. You want to see it till the very end.
One of my favorite movies is that way. It's called Hausu, and it starts
Hausu?
off Hausu. Yeah, it's a Japanese movie.
Is it
It means
horror?
house. Yeah, it's a
Could I
psychedelic horror
watch it?
film. Yes, you could. You would love Hausu.
It's not that bad.
It's like 70s psychedelic horror. It's
I could do psychedelic.
it's fucking cool as
You know
hell.
what?
That movie.
You know what I'm bad with, Tyler?
What's that?
Monsters.
Really?
I don't like monsters.
Maybe you should watch The Ritual then, because that movie fucked you up good. I think.
Why would you do that to me?
Well, because you want a good horror movie. I'm trying to give you good horror films, And since you're scared of monsters, Train to Busan was really good.
I've seen
Um,
Train to Busan. That
I'm not
movie's
super into
sick.
zombie films. Though,
Zombie movies are
and
not
things.
scary.
Yeah, I'm not into zombie films
They're
usually, but
not
Train to
scary.
Busan.
That's
was
not
well
even
made.
horror to me.
No, Train to Busan was well made.
It's a good movie.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah, I liked it.
That's a really good movie.
I've also seen Alive. Hashtag Alive.
Oh, I haven't watched that one.
It's a Korean one.
I watched hashtag horror. You heard of that one? Oh,
No.
oh man, that's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Train
I
to
watched
Busan
it
was
once.
good. You guys
Train to
are right.
Busan's great. Hashtag horror gave me a headache
All right.
and made me want to stop watching movies overall because it just didn't feel worth it anymore after I watched that one.
We can talk about how much you love horror and how much of a little baby bitch I am all night.
I wouldn't say that. I would never say that about you. It's
I'll
just
say
not
that
for
about
some
me.
people.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. It's just not for some people is what I'll say.
But
20 days
I want
out.
to talk about something horror adjacent.
All right, let's do it.
And that's fucking aliens, Tyler.
I like aliens.
I
love
want to talk
aliens.
about aliens because you're from New Mexico,
That's right. We are the alien
home
state.
of the aliens.
Yep, Roswell. Roswell, baby.
So, well, first of all, New Mexico.
Mhm.
What is New Mexico about? Whenever I looked at New Mexico on a map and I looked at pictures of it and I watched movies or shows in it, I'm just like so bewildered about like what New Mexico is all about.
All right. I'm gonna give it to you
Can you
straight
can
up.
you
Ready?
can you break it down for me?
Mhm.
Break
I'm
New
gonna,
Mexico
I'm gonna
down
tell
for
you
me.
exactly what New Mexico is about in 2 words. You ready? This is it. This is all you need to know because this is what New Mexico at its core. This is what New Mexico is all about.
Okay.
Green chili.
Green chili?
That's it. Yeah, we fucking love our green chili, dude. New Mexican green chili. It's like our steez.
Wait,
It's our bread and butter.
but chili's
Green
like
chili.
brown.
we put not ours. We got green chili over here, and we put it on
because it
fucking
has like
everything.
alien goo in it.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. No, it's definitely not that we make it a certain way that they turn out green. No, we put green chili on everything here though. New Mexicans love.
Oh, it's like a
You go to any
it's like a
local place.
condiment.
Yeah, you go to any place in New Mexico, they're gonna have a fucking green chili pizza, green chili burger, like everything green chili pancakes, Hatch chilies. Yeah,
Hatch
crazy, New Mexico, what I'm
Chilios.
talking about. Yeah, we have a thing here called making it Christmas style, and that's where we put green and red chilies on whatever the fuck you're having. So
That feels
a
like,
waiter
it
will
feels
ask
like it
you,
would
do
be
you-
good on a hot dog.
do you want red, green, or Christmas? is
So
what they'll
all I have
ask
to
you.
know about New Mexico is green chili.
Green chili, aliens, Breaking Bad, Fucking,
What it? But like
they
Tyler,
invented the atomic bomb out here as
Tyler.
well. What's
But
up?
like, what is like? We're from two very different parts of the world.
We
I
are.
grew up in New York.
You did.
New Mexico is
It's like another world to you,
it's like
probably.
I don't know. I think of New Mexico. I think of just like a little town in the middle of
Hmm.
the desert, like canyons surrounded
There's places
cactus.
like that, but we do have like our big cities like Albuquerque,
Yeah,
like
I'm
Santa
not. I'm
Fe,
not.
shit like that. No, no, I mean, I'm hearing where you're coming from. I'm just telling you, like, as a New Mexican who's lived here all his life, how I view New Mexico. And for example, I fucking hate the town I'm in. I hate this fucking town. I hope it gets nuked one day. This place is a shithole. I hate it. I absolutely hate this town. But Albuquerque, I mean, Albuquerque's not great. As a matter of fact, I hate going to Albuquerque. I think it's one of the most dangerous motherfucking places in the world.
Wow.
Um, but they have a lot of shit in Albuquerque. There's a
Sure.
lot of shit to do in Albuquerque. You know, they filmed Breaking Bad up there that I got to participate in for a little bit. Yeah, that
Stop.
was very cool.
What? You're in
Yeah,
Breaking Bad?
yeah, I was an extra in Breaking Bad during season 3
Are
of the
you in the
show.
show?
I don't like speak in the show, but like I'm in like shots. You can see me in the background and stuff.
No way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
That's another thing I need. Okay. So I need you as the old. What is
the
it? The
terrible
old
old man.
tired man.
The terrible old man. Yeah,
Old
yeah.
terrible man.
Hmm.
I need that, and I need you in the background of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'm in like the car wash scenes. I'm like an employee at the car
That's
wash
so
and shit.
cool.
And I got to meet Bryan Cranston, and he was a very very nice man.
That's so cool.
He was so nice, and a gun too. She was also very nice as well.
Dude,
The
that's
woman
really
who plays
cool.
Skylar. Where's the beef? What I'm saying. No, it was cool. It was really fun to do, and they paid well. That's what's in Albuquerque is filmmaking opportunities because they film shit
That's
tons of stuff in
Tyler, that's
Albuquerque.
pretty cool that you're in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, I love
Okay,
the.
but
It was
besides
fun.
that, New Mexico fucking sucks. I shouldn't even visit.
No, no, you definitely should come to New Mexico. There's a lot of stuff in New Mexico worth checking out. That and I just feel like in comparison to everywhere else, New Mexico just has its own like culture. Like it's so different from the rest of the country that when people come here, they're like, "What the fuck is all this shit?" You know, like there's so much just like different in comparison to other states. Like even the states that are next to us, we're not even similar to like Texas, Arizona, or Colorado.
Right.
You know, New Mexico
Yeah.
is just its own like sphere of like stuff that you have to check out. It's a very touristy place, but also just like experiencing like the local like lifestyle and just the way
Like
things are. Mhm.
aliens, Tyler. Do you
Yep.
believe in aliens?
Yes, definitely.
Me too.
I
Have you
I
ever
would be
have you had any Oh my gosh, dude, you're in the thick of it.
uh
Do you have any alien stories? Be
huh.
honest with
Well,
me.
no, I don't have any alien stories that I've
Okay.
experienced myself, but like we've had like there's stories around, New Mexico, obviously, of like
Of course,
tons
of
of stuff
course.
happening. I've actually experienced more like ghost related stuff, like more supernatural
Nope.
stuff in my
Nope, that's where you
lifetime.
got me. Nope.
Why's that?
No.
Why?
I don't believe in ghosts.
You don't have to, but I've experienced them firsthand,
You're
so
right.
I
Tell your
do.
stories. Tell your stories. Go
Well, just
ahead, chat.
I used to work at a
Revel in it.
fucking. I
Revel
used to
in your
work at a
ghost
fucking.
tales.
I used to work at a hotel in my town. It's like on the edge of the city. Um,
Don't call
it's
them
called the
aliens. That's
Fairfield.
true. That's
Don't call them
derogatory.
aliens, extraterrestrials. Um, yeah, there it is. Um, and I would work the graveyard shift at this hotel, and I would work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. And I would be the only employee in the hotel at the time. So I was just there. Everyone else is usually asleep. Some people would check in late, the poor motherfuckers.
Those poor motherfuckers.
Yeah, honestly.
That's when
Checking
the
in late to
ghosts
a
haunt.
hotel sucks. Yeah, no. That's when you see the shit, dude. Like I would walk, so I'd be walking through like the way that the lobby was set up, it split off into two hallways, and then ahead of that is like the like breakfast area and shit. And so in order to go to like rooms and stuff, in order to go to the elevators, I would have to go into this little intersection and I would have to, make my way around there. And every day that I would be walking through there and it's super late at night, nobody's up. And for that matter, on top of that, I have so my name tag at this place was Wyatt. I went by my middle name when I worked at the hotel because my manager liked it better. And so I'm walking through the hotel, and this would happen not nightly, but it would happen enough that I was able to confirm to myself that I wasn't making this shit up, you know? Like it wasn't like me being paranoid like it usually is. So I'd be walking through the hotel and I would just hear like right next to my ear, Tyler. And I would spin the fuck around. I'd look to see who the fuck, there'd never be anyone there. But the two reasons that's weird is one, a customer wouldn't know my name is fucking Tyler to begin with because I go by Wyatt at the fucking hotel. So no one knows me as Tyler there to begin with. Secondly, why the fuck is anyone getting this goddamn close to me to begin with? You know, if they need to ask me for something or some shit, call to me from down the fucking hall. So that would happen every night. There was just tons of like um how do I put this? Like I there was this one time this guy checked in, right? And he checks into the room and he's like, "Hey, like there's like this weird like moldy smell to the hotel room." And I was like, "That's fucking gross. Let me go ahead and get you out of there." So we get him out of there. And then he's like, "Hey, I think I left my keys, like his car keys, in one of the hotel rooms." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go check it out." And something that my manager would constantly ride my ass about uh, working at the hotel was like, "Don't fucking leave the fucking lights on, right? Can you stop looking at me like that, please? Jesus Christ. I feel like you look like a fucking cop right now. I feel like I'm in an interrogation room."
You are.
And
Go
so,
on.
anyways, I help him look for his keys. We looked through two rooms because I had to switch him to like two or three rooms because he reported the moldy smell in both of the rooms. So I was like, okay, whatever. We looked for his keys. This dumb motherfucker left in his fucking car to begin with. Fucking idiot. But point here being, I went back to like check out what that moldy smell was because, you know, it was kind of my duty to do so. And so I made sure when I left that room the first time, because at 2 a.m. I have to go pass everyone's receipts underneath their fucking doors and shit. Excuse me. And I went and I made sure that I turned all the lights off in the room because I knew my fucking manager would have a fucking heyday if I fucking left the lights on. Oh, excuse me. And I go back into the room, and first off, all of the fucking lights in the room are on, every single one of them. And I'm talking, I'm not even fucking rooms we didn't fucking go into are fucking lit the fuck up. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? The fucking coffee, like there's like a suite, so they have like a little area where they can make coffee and shit. Um, that's fucking on. The bathroom's fucking on. And I remember I go into the bathroom and there's this fucking like black stain on the wall. And I remember I
No.
looked at it. Yeah. And I looked at it
No.
and I look at it and I just started feeling ill. Like my head started hurting. My vision was getting like fucking blurry just looking
Describe
at
the
this shit.
stain on the wall.
So it was like a black stain, you know, and you could have just said it was mold, but the fact that I walked into the room felt fine beforehand, and the moment that I looked at it, and I felt like I'm not even gonna say this like energy, but I felt like you know like myself as I am, like a vibe. Like I felt this awful fucking vibe. Like I just started feeling sick. My fucking stomach was hurting. My head was hurting. My vision was getting blurry, and I was like, I have to get the fuck away from this. And I remember after that happened, I got the fuck out of there and I told everyone about it. And they sent in, you know, like the whoever the fuck would deal with this shit. They went in there and they tried to like, they ended up having to essentially just take that fucking piece of the wall out and had to like replace it because they would, you know, they skin the wall, you know, basically, and they would put new plaster over it, but the stain would always come back. Like it would all like no matter what they did, and they couldn't find like some bacteria or any shit in the wall that would be causing it. And it was only that spot. It wasn't spreading. It wasn't contaminating the rest of the room. It was just that spot on the wall that was doing that. And that's it. That's the story I have for you.
Um,
Let's hear it, science man.
I I believe
Uh huh.
you,
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. You don't have
but
to. You don't have to believe in ghosts just because you hear my experience. It's just,
I don't fucking
as,
believe in ghosts,
yeah,
my
yeah,
guy.
it's fine. Yeah.
I believe in aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
But you
believe
don't
in
believe in
ghosts.
ghosts.
I don't believe in
Why? Why do
ghosts.
you draw the line at ghost, if I may ask? Because if aliens can exist, then what makes you think that a spiritual plane
Well,
of existence can exist? If the universe is infinite, you know?
aliens are people alien the aliens are beings like you and I,
Hmm.
just on another planet,
Right.
which makes total sense because the universe is so vast and infinite that
Right.
of
Right.
course
But
there are
but
other
if the universe
people, there
is
are
vast
other
and infinite,
beings like us that exist
hmm
in another society similar or like far off but still a society like ours. You're
but if the
talking
universe,
about ghosts.
hmm
You're talking about people who
but if
have
you believe that the universe is infinite and vast, then is it not safe to assume that a spiritual plane of existence can exist just as much as our reality can?
no.
Why?
I don't know because like I don't know because like I believe in like spirits and souls and things
Hmm.
like that, but I don't think the two we're in different parallels. Like
Right.
we aren't able to interact.
Right.
So like I think that like all these ghost stories are like they seem like ghost stories, but like when it comes down to it, not downplaying what you
Hmm.
experience,
Just
but
invalidating my
in
experience. It's fine. Go ahead.
I'm not invalidating it. I'm saying
You're trying to tell me I'm a crazy person, is
what
what
you
it is. You think I'm
experienced, I believe
schizophrenic?
happened to you.
Uh
I
huh.
don't believe that it was ghosts, and it doesn't convince me any further that
So
ghosts exist.
if you had some ghost shit happen to you, would you completely
Nothing's
just sway
no
yourself?
ghost
Or
stuff has
no,
ever
listen.
happened to me.
Or well, if it did, I'm
If it
postulating here.
did,
If
then
it
I
did, could you continue to deny it like my
well,
fucking
I guess I
father
couldn't
does?
answer that question because like
Yeah.
it's never happened to me.
Yeah, but if it, well, that's why I'm saying if it did, we're theorizing here. If it did happen, would you continue to deny it like my fucking father does? Or would you finally say, okay, I'm going to switch? Yeah, Dino's the fucking skeptical character that dies first in every horror movie. That's what I'm fucking saying.
I
He's
definitely
like,
am.
this shit's not real. And then the ghost is like, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
I accept that, and I will die that death for sure.
It's probably how you want to go out, honestly. You know,
But
dying first. It's the
I
way to go.
well, you're asking. I can't. You're saying like, oh, if you ever, if I haven't had
Yeah.
that experience, so like I couldn't answer that question.
Well, but the thing that you're saying is exactly what someone who doesn't believe in aliens could postulate too,
I
because they've never experienced one. They don't believe that they exist. They don't think
You're
that,
right.
you know, they have like,
I guess when it comes down
right.
to it,
Hmm.
we don't know if either
Yeah.
are
We'll never know if either of us are
certainties,
right until we
but
get there.
from what knowledge that I've
Hmm.
experienced and what I
Yeah.
had and what
Right.
I've read, I Matt
Hmm.
believe that aliens exist because of the scientific information that we possessed,
Hmm.
and going off of that, I believe that ghosts don't exist based off of the scientific facts that we possess.
But there is a whole science that revolves around the supernatural, though, as well.
I've read it.
Right.
I don't buy into it.
So how can you buy into this other theoretical science, but
The
not this
science around
theoretical
aliens
science?
makes a lot more sense to me.
It's the same shit. It's
It's
people
not.
guessing and hoping they're right.
No, because your aliens is like, okay, people, our society exists in
Hmm.
on another planet light years away. And like
Right.
to me that makes a ton of sense based on the research that we have.
Hmm.
Whereas ghosts is like ghosts exist all around us, and
Yeah.
their souls and spirits from dead people, and
Hmm.
they're all around us, and they interact with certain people, and like that
Hmm.
confirms their existence. That to me has no scientific value as opposed to
Hmm.
aliens.
That sounds like you haven't read any of the actual science that has been done about ghosts, though. To me,
I've read
this sounds like you've just listened to
I've watched
stories
the
that people have said.
documentaries.
Uh huh.
I just don't believe.
So what do you think it is then ultimately for people who do experience these things?
I think that are I think that like people just they transcribe these supernatural events into like whatever they have experienced in their life, and therefore like if they're like if I was to experience something supernatural, I wouldn't lean towards ghost. If someone who was like keen to believe in
Hmm.
that experience the supernatural, then they would say ghosts.
Hmm.
And to me,
So what's the
That's
difference
all it
between a
is.
spirit and a ghost?
Then a what? A spirit and a ghost?
Yeah. To you, because you
Well, you
said you
can't
believe in
see a
spirits and
spirit. You
souls.
can't interact. You can't see a spirit. You can't interact with a spirit. Spirits are
Mhm.
spirits. Okay, well, spirit.
So you're saying
Let's go
these
back.
things that
So
we
like
can't
I
see
believe
that
in
exist on
soul. Like
another
I
plane of
believe souls. Like
existence.
I believe like we all have souls, and like once our
Uh
soul
huh.
exists, like
Yeah.
it could very well be floating out there. And I believe
Yeah.
those exist, but they exist on a parallel universe to ours, and they cannot interact with us
So you
whatsoever.
do believe in a spiritual plane of existence, then?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Which is
do.
exactly where ghost exists too.
If you want to call it that, yeah. I
Yeah.
always was under the impression that ghosts was like, okay, spirits that were able
They're
to
not. They're
interact
not
with us.
augmented into a reality. Like that's not what I'm implying at all. I'm just saying that sometimes they do exist on a parallel dimension to like ours, and sometimes I think that what can happen is they can leak through
I
in
don't
some
see like
way.
that's where I don't believe.
Why?
I don't believe they leak through
Why do you think that that's not possible?
because at the end of the day, it would be all
Because if
here.
we
At the
entertain,
end of
if
the
we,
day, it's all hearsay.
Mhm.
Like there's no scientific
But
evidence.
what do us people who believe in ghosts have to gain by spreading bullshit like this?
Just well,
What do
just
we gain from this?
just like the desire to believe that they're real. Same reason that people who no, I'm not gonna
But
get
I could
into.
postulate the same thing about you believing in aliens again, though.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just
I
it's
personally
literally the same
believe that
thing.
there are science there's real hard evidence that could again no one knows
Mhm.
suggest. I
Yeah.
believe that there is more hard evidence that suggests that aliens are out there
Hmm.
living similar lives like us on different planets in different
Hmm.
societies as opposed to me believing in a I do believe that there is likely a spiritual plane of existence that we can't
Hmm.
see or interact or touch. In the same vein, where like if I believed in God, okay,
Hmm.
if I believed in God, in my opinion, God exists on a entirely different level where
Yeah.
like if there was any kind of interaction between a human being and God that it would be unfeasible. So
Be
like
incomprehensible.
they could exist, but
Hmm.
that we wouldn't be able to record that interaction because it would be impossible. So that's kind of how I treat ghosts.
Okay, that's fair. I don't believe in God either, to be fair, as
And that's where
well.
we can
So,
agree.
mhm.
But I love you
Uh huh.
nonetheless.
No, no, I
And
respect your
I
opinion.
actually really enjoy that argument.
No, no, no. The thing is, I want you to make sense to me, is all that I'm looking for. I'm not looking to change your mind. I'm just trying to make your logic make sense to mine,
Okay.
is all. So ultimately, we can both walk away. I just never had any experience yet. So Tim's kind of the same way. Like he doesn't believe in them, but Tim was also optimistic about it. Would you welcome Ghost as existing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you'd be fine with it?
Yeah.
Even good, bad ones, that kind of like even like violent
Sure.
ones,
It would make
if they
my
were to
it would just
exist?
make life more interesting.
Okay. Well, see, that's what it ultimately comes down to. I like people who you don't have to believe in them, but I don't like people who like look down on people who do, you know?
I don't.
And they're like,
I
yeah, no, I
100%
know you
don't.
don't. I know you don't. Yeah. Because it's all about experience and shit. But yeah. Well, I'm glad we got to have this discussion. It was fun.
I
I
think that
enjoyed
was a
that.
great way to end the podcast.
Wait, is that the end? You don't
That's
have
the
any more
end.
questions for me?
I don't have any more questions for you.
Shit.
I mean, honestly, nothing I ask you at this point would live up to that little debate that we just had, my
Uh-huh.
man.
I don't know.
But
We could always talk
I
more.
do actually want to apologize. I addressed you as he earlier in the podcast, and
Hmm.
you are indeed they them, and I
That's
do
okay.
apologize for that. It
I
kind of
don't mind.
slipped.
I don't mind. Lika still does it to me too. And she constantly tells herself like I'm so sorry. And I'm like, you guys don't gotta apologize. I've been a fucking he for 25 years. Like I get it. You know, it's hard to immediately change over, you
Sure, but
know,
I
kind
wanted
of
to
thing.
apologize nonetheless.
Hmm. Hmm. I appreciate it. But it's
Yeah, of
fine.
course.
You're forgiven.
But yeah, no, and for I didn't have many other questions for you
Uh-huh.
left over, but any of them they do not compare to that debate we had, and honestly, I feel like we got a lot out of this show here.
We did. No, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, man. So yeah, chat. Thank you for involving yourselves and asking questions, Tyler. Thank you so much for coming on, my
Hmm.
man.
May I say one more thing before we leave?
Absolutely.
Because I just wanted to plug real quick. I am doing a subathon tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, with a 30-hour cap. So you can come in, and if you don't understand how a subathon works, the basic gist of it is I start out with a set time that I'm going to stream for, and then every sub adds more time to that. And then on top of that, we also have milestones of like these challenges that I have to do. If you guys give me X amount of subs, that I have to do X thing for X amount of time, or sometimes it's just X thing. Like I think the first thing we're doing is like I'm eating like I think it's like I'm gonna eat like the spiciest green chili I can cook up tomorrow without a
Alien
drink, and I
chili.
have to eat the whole thing. I have to eat, yeah, I'm gonna eat alien chili without a drink, and I have to eat it all the way to the end before I can have a drink. So that's like the first one, and then they just get crazier as they go on. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, at 80 subs, I'm gonna do a foot reveal. So stop in for
Foot?
that. You don't want to miss that.
You gonna
That's
show your
right.
toes?
I'm gonna show my foot. I'm gonna show my
Oh,
soles,
I'm
my
gonna break out the
toes.
lube for that.
I knew that people wanted it. That's why I put it so high up. 80 subs is a pretty high goal, but if we
Yeah.
can get there, I will show my feet. And if we can get to 100 subs, we'll face the final boss together. And what that means, well, we're gonna have to find out when we get there.
I like it.
So, just wanted to plug that real quick. You can go over to Ty McAllister or something, twitch.tv/Ty McAllister or something. I'll be doing
Yes.
a subathon tomorrow. So, thank
You
you for having me, Dano.
can find Tyler McAllister or something on Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and he is on Twitter as Tyler W. McAllister.
That is
And
right.
yeah, good luck on your subathon, man.
Thank
I'll
you.
be there. And yeah, dude, you are, by the way, you are the longest guest we've had thus far
Really?
by a bit.
I'm quite a
So
talker
this,
once you get
yeah,
me going. Like
yeah, this was
I can't
a
stop.
wonderful show. Thank you again. Thank you, chat.
Hmm.
And yeah, guys, Tyler McAllister or something right over here. Right over here. Hope you guys
Yeah.
enjoyed. Goodbye, chat.
Bye,
Goodbye,
everybody.
y'all. Thank you
Bye.
so much.
Bye. Peace and love, y'all. Bye.